Did you add weight over the summer?
Yeah. Last year I was bouncing around 170, 173. I'm now officially 182, 183. Put on a couple pounds, but I think it's gonna make a huge difference coming into next year.
Talked about one.
Starting off, we'll talk about Jalen Green. So Jalen came into the media session cool and calm as usual, and kind of letting us know that, you know, he has a real focus this year to be a better player than he was last year. Even saying as far as that he wants to be an all-star this coming season, which I think is, you know, it's not out of the realm of possibility. One thing that I love that I've seen from Jalen through the Rockets social media team, and even him confirming it at the podium, was that he has put on 10 pounds of muscle. And as we know, last season, a lot of the issues that he had finishing at the rim were due to him not being able to take those hits and bumps that the NBA usually dishes out to frail, smaller guys. So putting on that extra 10 pounds is going to open up just, you know, a big part of his game. He already has the quick first step. He has the elite athleticism. Now you're adding a bigger frame, and that frame is just going to continue to grow. So that is definitely exciting. That's something you want to see. That's something you want to see progress as he gets older, where his man body actually comes in. So I was really kind of happy to see that he's been putting a lot of work this offseason on his body, a lot of work on his balance, and Coach Silas has said on the Matt Thomas show, a lot of work on his core. So for me, that all-star kind of potential is definitely there. And, you know, if anybody's the one that's going to do it, it's going to be him. So I think that I'm really excited about the way he seems to be approaching. He sees himself as a leader of the team. He speaks as like he knows that the franchise is in his hands, and I'm really kind of excited to see how that works out with him. So Jalen, you know, I think he's going to have a breakout season this year, and we'll see what that really does for him on the court.
I feel like I fit right in, you know what I'm saying, with my defense, my versatility. I feel like with me being able to play the 5, me being able to play the 4, I feel like I'll be able to help with spacing, being able to space the floor for Jalen, for KP, for our guys to work, and also just adding that spark on offense. Just overall playing hard, and just my will to win will help us tremendously.
As far as Jabari, I mean, this guy, he spoke, and the thing with Jabari is that he just comes off like he's a leader. So I was really impressed with that as well. I mean, he spoke very calm, just kind of direct and straight to the point. He has kind of an air of confidence about him, that he's not really worried about much that's going on. I think that's going to carry over to his game. He really impressed me in the summer league with the way that he was able to not really let the shooting woes that he had throughout really impact the rest of his game. That's probably the most impressive thing that you want to see from a young guy, is having that next shot mentality, and he seems he already has that locked down. So kudos to his parents and his dad for getting him right in the mind coming into this league. You know, there's going to be ups and downs, as we saw with Jalen last year, and I think he'll be able to handle it because he's already kind of seen the pro game from the sidelines. Now he's going to be in it. But, you know, just the way he spoke about his defense, just being somebody that's ready to come in and make an impact on day one, be that vocal leader on the team on the defensive end, being able to find his game. I know a lot of people make a big deal about Jabari's lack of shot creation, but I mean, to me, that's just poor basketball history and knowledge. I mean, there's been plenty of stars, plenty of great players in NBA history that have had the same kind of limitations as Jabari. But that's not the only way you can score, by getting to the basket or being able to beat somebody off the dribble. I mean, there's whole sections of the NBA or the Basketball Hall of Fame that are filled with guys that worked out of the post, that worked out of the mid post, that worked out of isolation in the mid range. And I think for Jabari, he just reminds me of an old school power forward, that, you know, those guys that used to give you the jab step, bucket. And I think he definitely has that in his game. And I think the handles are going to come along, but I don't think it's necessarily a mandatory thing that he has. For him this season, I think he might struggle early on, just because he's going to be so dependent on our guard play. And I think the guards might not just come in hot. They probably take some time to get used to the speed of the game again, get used to all these new pieces that they're adding So he might struggle on. His shot may or may not. I think it'll come and go. Some games he may go, 5 for 8. Other games he might go 1 for 6. But one thing I know he's going to bring is defense every single game. So I'm really excited about him. I think he's going to be in the running for all defensive team as a rookie. I think that's in the realm of possibility. If the Rockets somehow improve on their season record and get up to that 30-win threshold, I can see Jabari definitely getting some love from the national media. If not, he's going to get the same hate that a lot of Rockets teams usually do. But in all, for him, I expect him to come in, probably average about 15 points, be a great floor stretcher, do all the little dirty things that we need from our guys, and just help make Jalen and KBJ's life a little bit easier. Interested to see the relationship him and Şengün build. Watching a lot of Jabari film, I can see that he is a very high IQ player. And he's just like Şengün, he's always active off ball, never stops moving. He's screening, he's doing different things. And so I'm excited to see how that translates to another high IQ mind like Şengün's. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. And I think that's an interesting dynamic that nobody really talks about, but him and Şengün may be a pretty devastating duo, given that they complement each other fairly well. For Coach Silas, he seems like he's more focused this year. He seems like he's ready to kind of take that leap and kind of step it up on the structure he's going to build around the team. I am so glad of the offseason hires that they've made. If the Rockets didn't do anything in the offseason on player front, on the coaching front, I think they hit a home run with the 3 hires, with Coach Abdel Fattah, with Coach Batiste, and Coach Lionel Hollins. And all of them coming in, I think is going to be a just humongous impact on the team. And because we know those assistant coaches, those coordinators are the one that really put the hands-on work, and the head coach is more like the team's manager and kind of sets the vision for everything, but those assistants are the one that really kind of implement the game plan. So for me, I think that's probably one of the biggest things that we have coming in, is that our 3 new coaches, and I think they bring a different mentality to the team that is going to translate and is going to help out Coach Silas. I think they complement him very well. He's a very player-friendly coach that motivates and inspires people. And sometimes for these young guys, you kind of need a little kick in the ass for them to be able to do what they're supposed to do. So I think now they have that, and they have his transformational kind of leader that he is. I think that'll bode well for the team. He kept on using the term hard to play to speak about what he would describe the team as, a team that teams wouldn't like to play because you're going to run up and down on defense and offense. So I expect the pace to definitely be better this year. I expect the team, not only just pace. I mean, pace can be good and you could still be trash. I would say I expect the transition offense and transition defense to be better. We, as fast, as young as we were last year, we're one of the worst transition teams as it comes to points per possession. So definitely look for that to improve this season with the addition of more structure, coaches that hold some of the players accountable, and the players just being smarter. So I think for Coach Silas, it's a big year, as we've all talked about throughout the offseason. Even though they don't have to be a winning team, they do have to show some improvement. And whether that's on defense or in transition or on offense, we cannot be the worst team in the league. We can't be the worst defense in the league. We can't be a historically bad defense, or I think that's going to be pretty bad for him and his tenure here in Houston. But for him, big year. He's got some stability now. There's really no excuses for us to see some consistency. And I don't think it equals a win total, but I do believe there's a minimum win total. Like, I don't think that this team should only win 20 games, because you have Jalen in year 2, you have Kevin Porter in year 4, Alpi in year 2, you have Eric Gordon here still. They might trade him, might not trade him. You have all these peripheral players. You have these rookies that are going to be impact on day 1. So there's no excuse for them. They can't. I don't think they can afford to be just like the worst team in the league. So I think there has to be some margin of improvement in the win column. So big year for him. This is also a big year for Rafael Stone. I think he has been kind of in the shadows doing his magic, getting all the players that the Rockets are going to build their future on. And, at some point he will start getting evaluated. And I think it really starts fairly now. I'm going to say now. just about the roster construction. There's a grace period for general managers in rebuilds where you get the assumption, unless your name is Sam Presti, then your grace period is infinity. But for most general managers, there is a grace period where you have to be able to show some progress towards what you're building towards. So for him and Coach Silas, I think they are tied to this. I think obviously Stone will have a longer leash because he has the draft picks. So there's always that kind of future outlook for him that keeps him kind of in case, break in case of emergency type deal. Because I think the way they're routing this rebuild right now, there's several outlets for other rebuilds in the future, with the draft situation that we're currently in. So, but we hope that this is the right team. But I think that for all this to work out, he has to keep hitting on these draft picks. And I think he's done an astounding job in drafting. The free agency is a mixed bag for me. Can't say I've seen just, great free agency work. He's had a couple missteps here, but the drafting and the development of the players has been going great so far. So we'll see if that trend keeps going on into next season as well.
Being in the space I am now and looking back, it's a beautiful space to be in. I found joy in everyday life, not just coming in and getting on the court and shooting the ball. Waking up every day, I found a joy in that. Drinking water, being able just to walk and run. And once I was able to account the small things being a blessing again, it kind of just helped me with everything in every aspect of my life. So like I said, the Rockets gave me the opportunity to even get to this point. So without the year I had last year, I wouldn't have discovered what this space would be. And it's a dope space to be in. And I've been in it for a very long time, probably the end of last season. So I plan on staying and letting this be who I am now. Yeah.
So the man of the hour to me, the guy that stole the show for the media day, was definitely Kevin Porter Jr. Man, what an insightful, just great interview that he gave. And to me, it just shows that he's growing as a man. And as most of us know, most males know that when you're young and you're like 19, 20, you think you're invincible. You don't think about the consequences of things. And as you kind of get into your mid-20s, your brain starts to change and you start having eyes for life, what I call it. You start seeing things like, oh man, I could get hurt. This could happen. I could lose my job. People are depending on me. So for him, it seems like that light bulb is hitting. And man, if it is like he is advertising right now, I believe Kevin Porter Jr. is going to have a phenomenal season coming up. I think he's going to be a borderline all-star because the way he ended last season, and we've seen the flashes of it, the only thing, it's always been in his mind. It's always been a mind thing for him. If he can get some consistency in his life, and I mean, the interview was just so beautiful. I mean, he spoke like somebody that's experienced so much and has the awareness to understand that he is the one that's in his own way. He's the one that's kind of stopping himself from reaching those heights of greatness that he wants to reach. So I don't see a reason why, if he has that self-actualization, self-realization of what the issues are that stop him from being great, then I think now, like he said, it's either you're going to do it or you won't. So it's time to do it, and I think he's going to do it this year. I love what he said. I think he is owning the leader. He defined a point guard very well in the way he spoke about the position of setting the example for your team, being that captain, that leader, that voice for everybody, because they're going to go as you go. And as he beautifully stated, I mean, it was like poetry. Like he stated, he has to earn the right to be a point guard. I mean, that was so beautiful for such a young guy to say. He has to earn the right to be a point guard for the other guys on the team. It's not something that you're just given. You have to earn that leadership role. And he says that that's something he's going to work towards and keep working towards. And I believe him. And I think that this season he's going to really prove a lot of people wrong about some of the things that they think about him. Despite, rightfully so, rightfully or wrongfully, it's not like he's perfect or anything. But I think him and Jalen as a combination is going to be something serious. So kudos to KPJ. I hope he keeps growing and having these moments where he can just kind of internalize everything. But good luck to him. And I'm really excited. I love what I heard from him during media day. Some random storylines I think that are going to pop up throughout the season. Obviously, I think the Tari playing time is going to be an issue. I definitely think that Coach Silas favors age and people that have experience. And as we've seen with Şengün and Jacob and some of the other guys, those rookie minutes are expendable to him. So I can definitely see the fan base clamoring for for Tari to be able to get some PT, and he may or may not be playing in as many significant minutes as we want in some games. So I think that's going to be a storyline. Obviously, the elephant in the room, Kenyon Martin Jr. They released the depth chart for the preseason, and they have him on the third team, which to me it makes sense. He wasn't there all summer. The whole team was there all summer, and as you know, as a former football player myself, when I played in college, if you didn't come to summer workouts, no matter what you did at home, you could have been working out with the Dallas Cowboys at your house. The coaches don't care. Like, if you're in summer, you're showing initiative, you're showing that you care. That's how they view it. Right or wrong, that's how it is, and it's justifiable that he has to earn back his role on that second team. So he's going to start with the third team with the rookies because those other guys ahead of him have been grinding all summer. It makes sense. I'm a big KJ fan, but that's just how coaching goes. That's how, sports and accountability and that factor goes. So he's I don't think it means anything about him being traded. I have no doubt. I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think it's basically because he wasn't a team participant in the summer as some of the other guys that have earned that right to be on those higher teams. Now, he could still be traded. They might trade him tomorrow. I don't know. But I don't think the coaching staff really meddles and stuff like that, where they start making decisions about, especially young talent, based on potential. He's going to be here, he's not going to be here. Coaches don't think like that. They don't care about that. Their thing is that they're going to play guys and they're going to hold guys accountable. So I think for him, hopefully this is not a thing that lingers throughout the season. He can just kind of play his role, get back to where he was, get his minutes, and be able to showcase that he wants to be here. And if he doesn't want to be here, he can showcase that he's a talent that other teams may need, and then we can get some good value for him. So that may be something that pops up. So keep an eye on that. The Eric Gordon situation is another one. The vibes from Eric were kind of like meh. I don't know if he didn't sound like he was just, gave good answers, but generic answers. Nothing really, rah-rah, which is typical Eric, so I can't take much from it. But I think some of the things he said kind of lean towards him either wanting to get out and go win somewhere, or that the Rockets need to kind of make a decision about what they want to do for him in the long term. I think he just wants to know, and he probably feels like he's in limbo, and rightfully so. So the EG thing, I'm at this point, I really don't care if they trade him or not. It's been like 3 years too late. So if he's here, let's go, because he makes our guys better. If he gets traded, let's go. I really don't mind whatever they trade him for at this point. I'm over all that. But yeah, so EG, we'll see if we get a more happy EG in the future. Another random storyline, Şengün measuring out at 6'11" with Jabari. Jabari's 6'11" too. So did they grow? Is this team capping? Because man, teams do cap. And, the NBA is notorious. The worst is really football. Man, football players are the worst when it comes to height and weight measurements. Trust me, like all those programs you see with the 6'2" corner that's like 5'8". Yeah, that's definitely a thing in sports. But I know the NBA is trying to crack down on that. I mean, they're trying to crack down on tampering. So I really can't take too much into the NBA cracking down. You know what I mean? So Şengün coming in at 6'11", it doesn't move me like as far as some people, like those 2 inches. Just, oh yeah, now he can play center. He's always been the same guy. To me, he's still a player that I love and I think has a lot of potential. If he grew 2 inches, that's great. As far as when it comes to defense, I'm more concerned about his extremities, his arms and his legs, how they grow, because that's really what will help you out, especially that reach and that arm length. So, 6'11", 6'10", 6'9", whatever. It doesn't make him a better player. He makes himself a better player with his skill set. And I think he really improved. He showed a lot in the Euro League and in the Euro basketball. So I think he can translate some of that this summer. Garuba is also coming in. He looks like he's in great shape. He played some meaningful games, won the championship. Hopefully that translates for him here as well. I really think he may have a good season. And he flashed some playmaking, being able to play some, kind of reminded us why the Rockets drafted him. Hopefully that sticks in the NBA, because obviously it's not the NBA he's doing all that in. Another random storyline, Ty. Is Ty going to get minutes? We don't know. I feel like he's going to get the Jacob treatment, where he might bounce between the G League, coming up and playing some good minutes, and maybe pressuring, just like Coach Silas said in this interview, that Jacob bullied his way into the starting lineup. Into getting minutes. So is Ty going to be like that? We'll see. I think he has a skill set, as I had made in the video that I made about him, that we need on the team. We need somebody that can pace the offense. We need a high-level pick-and-roll ball handler, which none of our guys are. And that's not a shot at KPJ or Jalen. Running the pick-and-roll is a skill. Being able to run that pick-and-roll, the delaying and, your dribble, kind of pacing your dribble as the action happens, being able to get to your spots, knowing when to, do a bounce pass, when to lob it, knowing when to pop out for your shot and get yours, knowing when to kick it out to the weak side corner or the strong side corner, reading the man that's like on the other side of the court that's not even in the action. That's a skill. Like, that's not something you just like learn just by doing it. It's like it's almost an innate skill. So I think he brings that to the team, a pass first guy that could get his own bucket. And I'd love to see him and Jalen and Kevin Porter Jr. on the 3-guard lineup. With whoever else they want in the front court. I think that'll be interesting to see. It allows KPJ to play that wing position that he was drafted for. And Jalen obviously is a 2-guard. He can still mix it up in there, and they can all mix it up. But just having him on the floor to pace, we'll see how that goes. Knicks as well. He flashed good. I was hard on him during the summer league, but he actually did pretty good as far as his shooting. I didn't like his decision making, but relative to the players he was playing with, I get it. So we'll see how he does. I don't know. He came in, it says 15 pounds heavier. Maybe it's muscle. He didn't look bad like to the eye. So we'll see how he does this season. I think that that'll be definitely something to watch for, is that point guard battle. I don't know who's going to go to. I'm sure Knicks probably has a lead on Ty just by him having experience in offense and all that. But we'll see how that goes. And last but not least, shout out to Boban. How can you not like Boban? Like, you have to be just the evil-hearted person not to like Boban. Boban's interview was just, I'm rooting for him already. He's my favorite Rocket as we speak. So ever, right? He's first. He hasn't even played a game yet. He's already in my top 5 of favorite Rockets. Great guy. Seems like just a pure soul. I'm glad he's on the team. I think he brings a different element of leadership to the team. Kind of just, more along that veteran support that a lot of these young guys need. Just encouragement. I think that's important as well. So, I want Boban on this team. I don't care if he never plays 1 minute. Just let him be on the team. Let him be on the sidelines. Let him be there to guide some of these guys and help out. And it seems like they really enjoy him. So good kudos to Rafael for getting Boban on the team. And, I think that just building that culture, guys like that are very important. So that's it for my summary of Media Day. You guys let me know in the comments, did you agree with anything I said or did you disagree? What were your take on KPJ? Do you think that he's really turned a corner as far as his mentality? What do you expect to see from him? Can Jalen be an all-star? We don't know. We'll see. Who's going to get that backup point guard role when it's all said and done? Is Şengün really 6'11"? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. I'm just playing, but peace out, y'all. Definitely like and subscribe our channel. Click that like button. Follow all our content and our content producers, and keep supporting the Chop Shop.